Where did you...
When I was walking from the subway station, there was snow coming down, but it wasn't too intense.
Was it like...
No.
Did it stink?
I wouldn't say it was pretty much melting off straight away. So, it was just there for a minute. Some of it was accumulating on my coat. The coat I had
So
on.
they call that snow, I guess.
Yeah, I guess
No,
so.
I
Lots
don't.
of things
I don't
count
know.
as snow.
It doesn't seem like snow from where I'm from.
Yeah, I think
Hey, everybody! Welcome to another episode
Of Hot Topics.
Hot Topics. Hope you brought your oven mitts because
these ones are hot.
these ones are hot. We don't want to burn your hands on these topics.
Don't.
If you try to carry them around in your hands,
you will burn your hands.
Yes.
And tonight's episode is going to be pretty fun, I think, Keith, because we've been asked on the street.
well, first of all, this is Elaine.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to introduce myself. This is Keith.
Yes, and this show is Hot Topics. For those of you wondering what this show is about, basically Elaine and I like to discuss various topics happening around the news, around the world, things that are kind of buzzworthy that people are talking about around their works water coolers. Did you say that's accurate?
Yeah, people are talking about these topics around their works water coolers, and we are the people who come by and are like, hey, I thought I heard you were talking about that sports game.
Yeah.
And then those people usually say, oh, no, not that sports game, this sports game.
Yeah.
And then we say, oh, I think I heard that was on, and that's kind of what we contribute to that conversation.
Yeah.
And this show is us doing that for many different types of topics.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nate aced it again.
Thank you.
Another one. Another good one.
Every week I explain,
She
kind
explains
of,
it.
and analogize.
I was a little worried you were going to drop the ball this one, but you totally
I was worried
out of the park.
because last week you pointed it out that I do it every week, and now that I'm thinking about it, I get more nervous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But you rise to the occasion, much like Michael Jordan.
Yes. Dunk. Slam.
So,
slam.
dunk. Contest.
All right.
As Elaine was saying before, first of all, shout out to everyone watching on Manhattan Cable, everyone watching on MNN. Shout out to folks watching our live stream happening on MNN.org. Shout out to the Rat's Nest. If you're in here, hopefully, the numbers are probably, I'm going to guess right about now we have 37. 42. I'm going to go 37.
42.
I'm going to go 42.
Yeah. But it's going to be steadily rising, we know, throughout the show as you guys come in realizing how our show is about 10 minutes before the Chris Gethard show. You will, more of you will be watching us, whether intentionally
by proxy
or unintentionally. But
we're on your screen here no matter what.
I think we have a pretty special show, as I kind of prematurely suggested earlier. We decided, because we always like to do like little bits towards the end of our shows. Right.
We've never really had like a really topic-intensive show. And as Elaine was saying before, people are coming up to us on the street and asking us. They ask us like, your topics are always so hot.
Which is great. They love it. Like, we love it. We want to hear the hottest topics of the day. But that begs the question:
are there other temperature topics out there aside from hot topics? It would stand to reason.
Good question.
Yeah, because why we even use the adjective? If all topics were just the same temperature, there'd just be topics.
Yeah.
There'd be no point in having to qualify them as being hot or cold.
It would be like if there was only one temperature. You wouldn't say hot or cold.
You just say it is.
It is.
It is.
It is. This is you would just say the weather today.
Yeah, being topics.
Yeah.
So we decided we need to look into like these variable temperature topics with some a little bit more detail.
Yep.
But Elaine, how are you, by the way?
Oh, Keith,
you weren't ready for that.
I wasn't ready for the knee slap on Tuesday. I'm great. I had a few friends in town this weekend. Showed them the city.
Oh, nice.
Went to the top of the Empire State Building.
Oh, had you done that before?
I had never done that before.
Wow.
Have you done that before?
I have done. I've been to the top of the Empire State Building. Go to the top of the Empire State Building. Yeah. You can really see far off.
It's a better view even than ours here overlooking the heart of it all in New York City, Times Square.
Yeah.
So I'm doing great. How about you?
Fantastic view, by the way. Yeah.
It is a fantastic view.
Pretty good. This past weekend I went to an arm wrestling championship tournament out in Flushing, Queens.
Wow.
I saw some the culmination of what I think has been like an ongoing tournament. Basically competing for arm wrestling, various weight classes, men's, women's, right arm, left arm. People were crowned the king of arms, the queen of arms.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, were these people in like a league, or did they just kind of
there was one group, they were a team. They were called Team, I forget. I'll post photos of it on our Tumblr page.
That would be fun. I would like that.
Speaking of which, our Tumblr page, KE Hot Topics. .tumblr.com. We'll be posting a lot of stuff on there, including some screenshots from last week's show, in which we saw some very nice comments from some of our Rat's Nest folks
for your ongoing enjoyment of our show.
Yes, and hello, Drella and Singapore. Hey, Jack.
I am Jacob.
I am Jacob.
Yeah.
Hi. I hope you guys are doing. Wally, I guess he's still out there. Yeah. I don't want to go down this slippery slope.
Okay.
Trying to remember everyone's names.
We'll forget someone who we love.
And we'll feel terrible. Yeah. So let's get into these hot topics, right? There's just so many hot topics.
They're burning up. And our first one is Typhoon Haiyan.
Typhoon Haiyan.
Unfortunately, this is a hot topic.
It is yeah.
We are only discussing it because it is a hot topic.
Yeah.
We are definitely not the best positioned people to discuss this, I don't think.
And I feel like there's, Yeah, we're certainly not qualified to really break news about it.
Yeah.
But we have an obligation to talk about these things. A devastating, absolutely devastating, possibly the most powerful storm to make landfall in history.
Is that right?
Is what being told, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
What's the second most powerful? Was that recent as well, or was
I don't know, but I do think it might. There are definitely climatologists who are saying that this is one of the things to might be a possible result of global warming.
I heard that.
More extreme weather.
They say over 1,000, nearly 2,000 deaths, or am I wrong?
Well, there are 2,000 deaths, I think, or close to 2,000 confirmed deaths right now, but that is a number that is expected to rise because they're still right at this point trying to reach out to people who've been stranded.
Yeah.
A lot of hundreds of thousands of people have been displaced. I think estimates are going to be in the tens of thousands in deaths. Yeah. So
what's interesting about this to me is I remember not too long ago when we started to hear that we should expect more extreme weather events because of climate change.
Mm-hmm.
And it was maybe this was the late 90s, and it was kind of this period where this was a warning, but the extreme weather events hadn't happened as frequently and as devastatingly as they have, I would say, in the last 5 or 10 years.
Yeah.
And I think people were just they couldn't even conceive it.
It seems like it's happening.
And it seems like it's happening.
Yeah.
So
we had Sandy, we had an uncommon storm up in the northeast of the United States. So give to redcross.org. That's a good place to donate if you want to help out for that.
Yeah.
On to another grave topic.
Yes.
That happened very recently out in East Williamsburg.
Right? Or East Williamsburg.
Yeah.
I saw there was some arguing about this location, but
some members of an indie band community out in East Williamsburg had a triple homicide, suicide involving a spurned member of a group
called Yellowed.
Well, the two of the band members, basically they were part of an indie scene that originated in Tehran.
Right.
Iran. They were all expats. They were part of an indie scene out in Iran. They came to New York, and they were all living in the same apartment. Band member of one. Someone who was part of that scene, the band he was in, he got kicked out of because he stole money from them, allegedly.
That's messed up.
And he was kind of being spurned by the entire, I guess,
band?
By just the whole group of the Iranian, the scene,
Iranian
indie rock scene that was happening out there. And it drove him to an extreme where he decided to just go in guns blazing, killed two members of the band, the Yellow Dogs.
Okay.
Another independent, a solo artist who was just all.
So these people weren't all in his band.
They weren't all in his band. Actually, he wasn't in a band with them. I don't think he may have been at one point.
Okay.
He was in a band called the free keys.
Okay.
It sounds like free
so
keys.
That's just
awful. Yeah,
sad.
yeah. And another case of just
gun violence.
Yeah, second time in this month where we've had someone go into a house and just kill everybody inside. We had another thing.
What was the first time?
There was a stabbing in Sunset Park where a guy like murdered a bunch of children with knives. But yeah, a very unfortunate set of events.
Yeah.
I don't know what giving to the Red Cross would do for that.
Right.
Probably nothing.
Right.
But yeah, that happens. So
yeah.
We don't like to report them, but it's a hot topic.
All right. Next thing, if you are tired of shootings, then don't watch us talk about this hot topic because there's been another shooting.
Yeah.
This one at Bryant Park. This one, fortunately, nobody died.
Nobody died.
But it was open air.
Open air,
space,
out on the ice rink.
Storied, wonderful place that people go to skate and enjoy the holiday.
Yeah.
And now, tell us about, do you know anything about the suspect?
Oh, the suspect initially was attempting to rob a man of his Marmot parka, very popular line of parkas.
Okay.
And accosted a guy saying, give me your parka. The guy's like, no, I don't want to give it to you. The shooter left the ice. He was in ice skates.
Oh
he originally approached him in ice skates.
No.
Put his shoes back on, came back out, and shot him. Shot him like 3 times with a .22. And then a 14-year-old kid who had nothing to do with any of this also got shot in the back. The horrible thing about that is there's a chance he might not walk again.
Oh, God.
So it might have
That's terrible.
This is all for a coat.
All for a coat. And again, guns.
Guns. Mental health is really the thing.
I think guns, though, it's guns and then mental health.
Yeah.
Because I honestly think that, like, there's so many mentally unhealthy people. Most everyone's on a spectrum, but there's so many who are walking around with no intent to shoot people. They've said that it's very, people who work in the mental health profession say it's very hard to screen for someone who's going to
start shooting people.
No,
they didn't know that about the Aurora guy either. That would happen.
But that's still, anyway.
Yeah.
It's good they're focusing on mental health.
Okay,
anyway.
we'll move on to one more hot topic here. Cronuts, in keeping with, I guess, Hot Topics norm, we covered 2 shootings and then go to Cronuts. Same thing we did last week. But yeah, Cronuts. Always hot.
Always hot. Still hot. That line at the Dominique Ansel Bakery down on Spring Street, not shortening, still long.
Yep.
Still gotta wait. Still gotta hope you get there in time to get a cronut, and still gotta get your hot chocolate now. Or this is a new one because it's getting cold out there.
Yeah.
But
it's gonna make it all the more sweeter when you get that.
Yeah. But now there's a new way to get something even more delicious than a
purportedly
cronut.
More delicious. Like, let's say you kind of want you want something from Dominic Ansel, but you don't want to stand in that cronut line.
Yeah.
Here's what you can do. You can go to Dominic Ansel's bakery. You don't have to stand in the cronut line. You just
walk right in.
You can just go right up to the front, and you can get pretty much any of the other offerings at his bakery.
You're going to be asked probably by people, what are you
doing?
And all you're going to say is, I'm not getting a cronut.
Yeah. Chill out.
Chill out.
Slow your roll, kid. I'm not getting a cronut.
And then there's this one treat that is called a DKA.
A DKA
stands for Dominique's Coogan Annen, I think.
Yeah.
And that is supposed to be, according to this person who wrote this article all about this in the Huffington Post, even better than a cronut.
Yeah.
Now, I'll believe it when I taste it.
And
we still haven't
had a cronut. So the score for that is Keith Elaine, 0, Cronuts
1. But we will have a cronut by the end of 2013.
Okay, so that's it for our hot topics for today. Now we're gonna move on. As we said,
temperature topics.
We want to check out these varying temperature of topics. Some things aren't always hot.
Right.
Some things are on the way to being hot, or some things are coming down from being hot. If you guys are familiar with thermodynamics, that's entropy. That's generally how things go. Things go naturally from hot to cold. So we're just going to move a little bit slightly down
to this is the law of hot topics thermodynamics.
Yes.
And this is called tepid topics.
It's tepid topics.
오빤 강남 스타일.
All right, so Gangnam Style was very popular last year. Not quite a hot topic anymore, so that's why we chose that music.
Down to tepid.
The iPhone 5, I believe.
Remember that?
We happen to have a huge one brought into our time where
this was huge about what, 3 months ago?
3 months ago. I mean, it's always kind of huge, but that's the whole thing. They're always on the periphery of being something a must-talk-about thing.
It's coffee that's cooled down.
Yeah, so let's get on to our first tepid topic, things that people are talking about.
Toronto mayor loves crack.
Yeah, okay, now, if we brought this up last week, we ran out of time. This would have been a hot topic, but it's just coming off. You can just now start to handle it with your bare hands. Rob Ford, the mayor of Toronto, publicly
admitted to smoking crack. And this was at first. This was a hot topic many months ago, like back in the spring, when he was caught on video smoking crack. The video at the time wasn't public. A lot of pressure ensued, and then he did finally admit to smoking crack because he was very drunk at the time, is what he said, and it kind of just made it.
So that makes it all okay.
Yeah, which is like what I.
Oh, all right. You were destroyed. Of course, it wasn't your fault. You were just hammered.
Right.
As mayors are wont to be.
Yeah. So I feel like we're talking about this and having the conversations that many of you probably had about 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago now.
Yeah.
So this is a tepid topic.
Yeah.
Should we move on to our next tepid
Another tepid topic that people are not really talking about as much. Banksy was here in New York City last week.
And credit to us, we talked about Banksy when Banksy was hot.
Yeah, we were.
Every week, Banksy was hot.
We were providing
up to the minute,
fairly sort of kind of accurate, largely not well referenced news stories about Banksy. That. But yeah, Banksy was here.
That Keith had read a couple mornings before the show.
Yeah.
On Gothamist.
And I brushed up on a little bit today, and I still don't really have anything more to really say about that. He was here.
He's gone.
And he's still doing his thing wherever he's at. He's somewhere right now touching the lives of several with his unique, very witty style of spray paint art and unique sculptures and other offerings that Banksy does. So tepid topics. Let's move on to the next one. Breaking Bad, the show Breaking Bad.
When this season finale of this show is happening like a couple months ago,
you couldn't find a hotter topic.
My Facebook feed was blowing up. It's all anyone I knew.
It was too hot. Some people were just like, I don't talk about it because I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
And in fact, it might even be a little bit.
I have to stay away because this is going to start a fire that I'm going to get burned in if I get too close.
Yeah. I'm going to lose some eyebrows. Yeah. It's going to, like a meth fire. Like if you're actually cooking meth in your own.
Oh, exactly.
Trailer.
It was like that. It was what happens when a meth. A
lot of people were Walter White for Halloween. I'm sorry, cut you off.
No, one thing that's happened with the show is as it's become tepid, it's been a little easier for me because I've only seen the first episode of the show, and so I just don't hear people talking about it as much as I used to. So for me, I'm like, hey, I still have nothing to contribute, but now it doesn't come up as much in conversation.
Yeah. And now you're kind of like weird, like, okay, now you really want to talk about Breaking Bad if you're insisting on talking about it now. Whereas before you're like kind of weird to not be doing it.
It's like how I was talking about Mad Men like way late after it comes up. But anyway.
Coney 2012. Hashtag Coney 2012. Hashtag.
I think, this was huge.
It was huge when it came out. I'm still getting emails about it. That's how I kind of qualify it as being tepid.
You get emails about it?
I get emails from the Coney 2012 cam.
Oh, did you sign up for emails?
I guess I did.
Okay.
I bought into this lock stock.
Were you one of the people who love the video?
I love the video.
It was a very polarizing video.
Yeah, I'm one of the people who spread it out. I did my part. Yeah.
Back when it was a hot topic, I remember it was a very polarizing video.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a chalk drawing of Coney 2012 near my apartment back when it was hot.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I remember
the posters.
The founder, it was that guy, Jason something. I probably knew his name back then. And he was kind of a spark rod or whatever the word is because
I think spark rod is the right word.
Because he, had all these great, he did this great video thing and he seemed so enthusiastic about getting Cody and
a spark rod.
Kid soldiers. And then he's caught publicly
pleasuring himself. Yeah. So
in some kind of nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of when Coney 2012 started to become tepid.
Started to lose a little bit of its credibility. Well, no, it became tepid. Actually, it was more of a hot topic when he started doing that. It was like, ah!
That's true.
But for all the wrong reasons.
It's true.
Yeah.
And it kind of drew the attention away from what
like captured Joseph Kony because the guy who wants to get him is jerking off in a parking lot or whatever.
Yeah.
Next up, Carlos Danger. Hey, remember back when we had a mayoral race?
Yeah, and back when we thought that this guy was going to win the race. There was a time when Anthony Weiner was well ahead of everyone in the polls.
Yeah, but he couldn't suppress his horny little alter ego, Carlos Danger, and his trusty sidekick, Sydney Leathers.
And I just love that name.
Sure.
I love that was his name, Carlos Danger.
He thought of that. He identified with it.
He doesn't seem like a guy who has like a sense of humor or a sense of like how that could be kind of just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that was a serious thing. He was thinking to myself like, oh yes, I will attract the ladies with my nickname and my @tweets.
Yeah. Vaguely Hispanic sounding name with a hint of actual danger. Danger is my last name.
Yeah, so that was hot.
Mr. Danger.
Yeah. All right, the 2014 Summer Games.
This is a topic that's heating up. Unlike some of the others that are cooling down, this is on the rise. Nothing really happening with it yet.
So topics, let's get this straight. For a topic to be tepid, it doesn't necessarily have to have cooled down. It can also be
warming up.
Yeah. I'll take that.
Yeah, on a temperature scale. I mean, things naturally on their own go from hot to cold.
Right.
But if you're lighting a fire under it, such as the 2014 games that are happening in Rio, there will be the typical events: track and field, fencing, swimming, basketball, rowing,
and I can't.
Weightlifting.
Yes.
Gymnastics.
Not
pole vault.
Not luge. Right.
Not luge.
Gymnastics is always big.
Yeah.
Baseball.
Baseball.
They do have baseball now.
I think they're getting rid of baseball.
Okay.
I think they may have gotten rid of baseball.
Cricket.
Yes.
I think.
All of your favorites will be there.
That's next year. Just expect in less than a year, you're going to be hearing a lot about this.
It'll be a hot topic.
Yeah, get ready for McDonald's ads in Olympic Village.
Yeah. Okay. So I feel like I feel like we've gotten a good feel for
what's hot or
what's tepid. Yeah. But not all. Oh wait, there's donuts.
Oh.
Donuts. They they're always there.
They're not as hot. They're not like cronuts.
I like cronuts.
Are hot, but donuts are available. There are a lot of places that sell donuts.
Once upon a time, donuts were cronuts.
Yes,
were the cronuts of their time. Like, have you tried this fried dough thing that's glazed
and
it's delicious?
They glazed it and like look at this. And I mean, maybe there were even really long lines out of a bakery of the Dominic Ansel bakery counterpart of like 1905 or when donuts were invented.
Krispy Kreme.
Yeah,
if that
Krispy
was
Kreme.
around.
That's right. It was. Yeah. So that's a
tepid topic. Yeah.
And I think now we're gonna move on.
We should move on. So if you can probably guess where we're going with this. If we've started it hot and we're at tepid, there are the topics that are absolutely frigid. These are cold topics. We have 5 minutes left. 4 minutes. 4.5 minutes. Okay. So that's counting as 20. Okay.
Oh boy.
So that is something nobody is talking about. Soy bomb.
Soy bomb. No one has talked about that in a long time.
No,
Because that was from the Grammy Awards of 1998.
1998. A performance artist decided to stage bomb Bob Dylan said, oh, by the way, we're now in front of Central Perk.
Yes.
The coffee shop from the show Friends. I think I see Gunther over my shoulder.
Oh, yeah, Gunther, yeah.
That's Gunther, right?
Yeah.
Gunther
Oh, yeah,
Friends right
that's definitely Gunther.
Yeah, but as you can guess, cold topics are things nobody's talking about whatsoever.
Right.
Let's just go through some.
Yeah.
All right, the soy bomb, that's one we just covered. Let's go on to another one.
Clint Eastwood talks to a chair
at the 2012
Republican National Convention.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
It was kind of weird, and everyone was like, why is he talking to a chair and pretending it's Barack Obama?
Yeah.
And I think that contributed to how Mitt Romney's convention wasn't as fun as Obama's.
Wasn't as clever of a riff. People were more confused about more than anything. But more than is no one's talking about. Oh, speaking of this guy
from Friends,
right here. Yeah. Speaking of things nobody's talking about, Gunther from Friends. Whatever happened to him?
Gunther,
what was ever going on with him? Yeah.
Was he a hot topic back when he would have been at the peak of in people's minds, which would, I guess, have been the late 90s.
Parade of Cows in Chicago.
They had all these cow sculptures in Chicago, painted them. I was living in Chicago at the time, in the Chicago area, and boy, was that a hot topic back then.
Was it?
Yeah, well, in Chicago, everyone
was.
Yeah, it was huge. It was a summer. You couldn't go a minute without hearing about it.
John Lovitz. What's he up to these days?
I don't know.
Famed SNL performer, famous for his pathological liar.
Hanukkah Harry.
And his
animated television show, The Critic.
Yeah.
And now I think John Lovitz might have never been a hot topic, but he was certainly a tepid topic.
Yeah. He worked his way up to tepid.
Yeah.
Which, not that bad.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Most of us will never be tepid topics in our
cold
life.
topic. Dough! Before cronuts.
Before donuts.
There was dough. Dough. What you make bread with, what you make the base batter stuff that you make for so many other things.
Many things.
Nobody's talking about it. Not really.
But you bet you're back in the 500 BCE.
Oh, yeah.
Dough was first
this
made.
was the stuff.
This was a hot topic.
Lines around the Mercado. Yeah.
Exactly.
Lining up for some of that sweet, sweet dough.
So that is a cold topic extraordinaire. Our next cold topic,
Brittany Murphy, actress Brittany Murphy.
Yes. 2009. May she
rest in peace.
She left us in 2009.
Yeah, she was an actress from several movies. Clueless, the one
where she plays a babysitter.
Yeah.
She dated Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, she did drugs.
And
so she's gone.
She's gone. So Love in the 90s. No one's really talking about Love in the 90s anymore, right? Yeah. So that's a cold topic. Moving on.
All right.
Golfer Greg Norman. Okay, he was famous for choking terribly during thing here. Oh, speaking of choking terribly, George W. Bush choking on a pretzel. Nobody's talking about it. No one talks about that anymore.
That was funny.
Yeah.
All right, another hot topic.
Really large, heavy tents.
Yeah,
really large, heavy tents. No one's talking about really large, heavy tents.
Now all tents aren't that heavy.
No one was ever talking about it. Okay. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. The catchphrase from the show. The weakest link.
Oh no, the weakest link.
Yeah.
That's how cold it is. I don't even know where it's from.
Apt ending the Taliban. Nobody's talking about that. Thank you for tuning in to Hot Topics, everybody. I'm Keith. This is
Elaine. Have a great week.
Thanks for watching. Bye.